Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the All Sorts podcast. You know how it is here. We love to explore all sorts of interesting things. And today we're taking a deep dive into the world of Pakistani cricket.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, we're going to be focusing on a rising star named Salman Ali Agha. You familiar with him at all?
I am. Yeah, he's really making a name for himself as a genuine all-rounder, both
Right.
with the bat and the ball.
Yeah, that's what really caught our attention, right? That he's so good at both. And we've got a bunch of sources here that we're going to be digging into.
Yeah, what kind of stuff are we looking at?
Well, we've got like articles, stats, even some social media posts.
Oh.
And there are a few, like, little mysteries about his name and age that we might be able to untangle.
Oh, interesting. I love a good mystery.
Me too. Okay, so let's start with the basics. Salman Ali Agha was born in Lahore, Pakistan.
Lahore, a city known for producing some serious cricketing talent.
Right, like it's almost as if there's something in the water there, and Agha seems to be, like, carrying on that tradition.
Absolutely. When you think about the history of Pakistani cricket, Lahore has played such a crucial role.
For sure. And speaking of Lahore, one of Agha's early milestones was joining the Lahore Calendars in the Pakistan Super League.
Ah, the PSL. That's huge in Pakistan.
Huge GE. Like, it's not just a cricket league, it's a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, you've got these packed stadiums, fans going crazy, rivalries that are, like, legendary. It's really brought Pakistani cricket to a whole new level.
And it's given young players like Agha a chance to shine on a big stage.
Absolutely. The PSL has been such a game changer for Pakistani cricket. It's not just about developing individual players. It's about national pride.
And speaking of individual players, our sources have uncovered some fun facts about Agha's personal life. Like, did you know he's a big fan of biryani?
Biryani. Who isn't?
Right? Like the ultimate comfort food. And his cricketing idol is none other than Shoaib Akhtar.
Shoaib Akhtar. Wow, that's a legend.
I know, one of the fastest bowlers of all time. It makes you wonder if, like, some of Akhtar's aggression has rubbed off on Agha's style.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's fascinating to see how those influences shape a player's development.
Totally. We also found out that Agha's favorite Pakistani film is Do Ball.
Do Ball. I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's a classic. And apparently Agha's favorite color is green.
Green. Well, that makes sense.
It does, right? I mean, it's the color of Pakistan's cricket team. But it's these little details that help us see these athletes as real people,
Totally. It humanizes them, makes them relatable.
Exactly. Okay, so we've talked about Agha's background, his influences, and his personality. Now let's get into the numbers.
The stats. The real meat of the matter.
Right, and we've got stats from, like, all formats of the game. Test matches, ODIs, T20s.
And what's really impressive is his consistency across all of those formats.
Right, he doesn't just specialize in one. He's a true all-rounder.
That's so valuable in modern cricket. Players who can contribute in multiple ways are absolute gold to their teams.
Absolutely. So we're talking, like, really good batting averages, a decent number of centuries, and respectable bowling figures.
It's not just about raw talent, though, is it? It's about temperament, being able to handle the pressure and constantly adapt.
Yeah, totally. And speaking of adapting, Agha's experience in the PSL goes beyond the Lahore Quilsanders. He's also played for Islamabad United.
Ah, so he's experienced different team environments, different styles of leadership.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which just adds to his versatility. And get this, his PSL stats are pretty impressive. High score of 64, 3 half centuries. The guy can play.
That's not just participating, that's making a real impact.
Right. He's not just there to fill a spot. And you know what really stood out to me? The centuries. He scored 2 in test matches and a whopping 16 in first-class cricket.
Whoa! 16. That's incredible, especially in first class. That's a grueling format.
It is. And to score a century in test cricket is a huge accomplishment. It's a sign of, like, real grit and determination.
Definitely. And, it makes you think, does he have what it takes to be a long-term player for the Pakistan Test team? Maybe even a captain someday.
Ooh, that's a great question. But before we get into that, we got to address this little mystery about his name. Some sources say Salman Ali Agha. Others say Agha Salman.
Interesting.
It is, right. And it made me think about, like, the different ways names are used in different cultures.
Oh, for sure. In Pakistan, naming conventions can be pretty complex. Sometimes the family name is used as a given name, and the order can vary.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Just goes to show that there's always more to learn,
Always. And I guess we'll have to keep digging to solve that name mystery.
We will. But first, let's step off the cricket field for a minute and into the world of social media.
Oh, the digital realm. Can't escape it these days, can we?
Not really, especially not for athletes. It's become such a big part of how they connect with fans.
It's a whole new dimension to the fan-athlete relationship.
Right. So we dug up some info on Agha's social media presence. 120,000 followers on Instagram, a decent following on Facebook, and over 30,000 on Twitter.
That's a pretty solid online presence.
It is. And, it makes you think about how social media is changing the game, both literally and figuratively.
Totally. It's like a whole new playing field.
And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we'll be diving deeper into Agha's career and what the future might hold for this rising star. Stay tuned.
All right, so before we jump back into the world of Salman Ali Agha, let's take a quick moment to remind you all about our amazing community here at the All Sorts podcast.
Yes, you guys are awesome. We love hearing from you, so make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to share this episode with your friends, especially the cricket fans out there.
Yeah, spread the love. And while you're at it, check out some of our other episodes. We've got deep dives on all sorts of topics.
Seriously, there's something for everyone. Okay, but now, back to our deep dive. We were talking about Agha's name, right?
Yes. The mystery of Salman Ali Agha versus Agha Salman.
Right. So, is one his full name and the other a nickname? Or is it something else entirely?
It's tough to say for sure, but maybe Salman Ali Agha is his official name, what's on his birth certificate, and then Agha Salman is what he goes by, casually.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like how some people go by their middle name or a shortened version of their first name.
Exactly. But you know what? We should totally try to reach out to him on social media and see if we can get a definitive answer straight from the source.
Oh, that's a great idea. We could, tweet at him or something.
Yeah. And speaking of social media, you mentioned earlier that Agha has a pretty big following on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. He's got 120,000 followers or something like that.
It's amazing how athletes can connect with fans in such a personal way these days.
Right. And it's not just about posting, perfectly curated photos. Agha shares glimpses into his training, his interactions with his teammates, even some personal moments.
That's so cool. It gives you a real sense of who he is as a person, not just a cricketer.
Totally. And he actually interacts with his followers, too. He'll respond to comments and answer questions. He seems really down to earth.
Yeah, that's awesome. It really makes him feel more relatable and accessible.
All right, so we've talked about his social media presence, but let's get back to his cricket career. We touched on his PSL performance, but there's a whole other layer to explore: his test match record.
Ah, yes. The ultimate test of a cricketer's skills and mental toughness.
Right. And he's already scored 2 centuries in test matches, which is, huge. Think about the pressure in those games. It's incredible.
Scoring a century in a test match is like a badge of honor. It shows you can handle the pressure, concentrate for long periods, and really build an innings.
And remember that test match against England, where he scored 63 runs in the second innings and helped Pakistan secure a draw. Clutch.
That's the thing about Test cricket. It's not always about hitting the most runs. Sometimes it's about grinding it out, showing resilience.
And he didn't just bat well in that match. He also took 3 wickets, proving his worth as an all-rounder.
Exactly. He's got this really clever bowling style. He's not all about raw pace. It's more about accuracy and outsmarting the batsman.
Yeah, like a chess match on the cricket field.
Totally. Every move is calculated. Every delivery is a potential trap.
And that's what makes him so exciting to watch. He's not just a big hitter or a fast bowler. He's got this whole strategic element to his game. But, it's not just test matches. You sent over some sources about list A cricket as well.
Oh, yeah. And his list A stats are impressive, too.
Yeah.
4 centuries and a very respectable batting average.
It seems like he can adapt his game to any format, which is so important in modern cricket. It's like he's got a different persona for each type of game.
That's a great way to put it. In test matches, he's this patient, strategic player, but in List A, he's more dynamic and aggressive.
And in T20s, forget about it. He's a total powerhouse.
Truly a versatile player. It speaks volumes about his work ethic and dedication. He's constantly learning and evolving his game.
And you know what? Before we go any further, we just wanted to say a huge thank you to all of you amazing listeners out there. You guys are the reason we do what we do.
The All Sorts podcast wouldn't be the same without you. So keep those likes coming, subscribe to our channel, and tell your friends about us.
And don't forget to check out our other deep dives. We've got episodes on history, science, culture, all sorts of things.
We're all about sparking your curiosity and exploring the world around us.
Exactly. Okay, now back to Salman Ali Agha. We were just talking about how he seems to be mastering different formats of the game, right? And one thing that really shows he's on the rise, is his selection for the Pakistan A team.
Oh, yeah, that's a big deal.
It is, right? Like, it's not just any other team. It's like the proving ground for the national team.
Absolutely. It's where they test you out, see if you've got what it takes to compete at the highest level.
Exactly. And his performance there, from what we've seen, has been really impressive. The guy just keeps delivering, whether it's with the bat or the ball.
Yeah, he's got those consistent runs, those crucial wickets, and he just seems to thrive under pressure.
Which is what you need at that level, right?
Yeah.
You got to be able to handle the heat.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, it's not just about being selected. It's about performing when you get there. And he's definitely doing that. He's hungry to prove himself.
And speaking of proving himself, remember those List A stats we were talking about? 4 centuries. That's amazing.
Yeah, it really shows his versatility. He can adapt his game to any format, which is so important these days.
Right. Like, he's not just a one-trick pony. He's got all these different dimensions to his game. So it seems like he's on the right track, moving towards greatness. But it's not always going to be easy, right? There are going to be challenges along the way.
Oh, for sure. Every cricketer faces setbacks, moments of doubt. But it's how they respond to those challenges that defines them.
Exactly. So the question is, how will Agha handle those inevitable bumps in the road? Will he rise above them and come back stronger?
Only time will tell. But, based on what we've seen so far, I'm optimistic.
Me too. He seems to have the talent, the dedication, and the right mindset to go really far. His story is so inspiring, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It is. It's a reminder that with hard work and passion, you can achieve anything you set your mind to.
Absolutely. And it leaves us with this big question. What role will Salman Ali Agha play in the future of Pakistani cricket?
Will he captain the national team? Break records, inspire a whole new generation of players? The possibilities are endless.
And it's going to be so exciting to watch his journey unfold. This has been such a fascinating deep dive.
It has. We've uncovered so much about him, his background, his achievements, his personality.
And remember, this was all based on the sources you provided, so thanks for sending those in.
It just goes to show there's always more to learn, always another story to uncover.
And we hope you'll join us for more deep dives into the world of all sorts of things. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the All Sorts podcast on YouTube so you don't miss out on any of the fun.
And be sure to follow us on X, Instagram, and Threads for even more All Sorts content.
We're all about exploring, learning, and having a good time along the way. Thanks for listening, everyone. Until next time, keep those minds curious.